This is Pokemon cards. It is estimated by TCG Player that a daily average of 26.6 million Pokemon cards are opened daily. With a shocking statistic like this, it would seem that the Pokemon market is thriving from its passionate collectors, but this couldn't be farther from the truth. The Pokemon TCG is gilded, where from the outside it seems to be flourishing, but in reality the Pokemon trading card game community is drowning. Why is this the case, and is there a solution to this problem? If there is, why hasn't it been implemented yet? Welcome to the Pokemon Paradox. I'm Ms.Mccain, a fellow collector and traveler exploring the world of Pokemon and our wallets. So what exactly is the problem with Pokemon today? I've narrowed it down to 3 main points of disaster: inflated buying and selling, influencing, and the COVID-19 pandemic. The problem really starts with the pandemic. When more and more people were locked in their own homes, people began to rediscover their old hobbies. For some it was dancing, buying things on the internet, and for nearly everyone it was social media. Popular trading card shops moved to online marketing in an effort to appeal to more and more customers, and it ended up working as these videos popped into collectors' For You page. There was a great resurgence in the buying of Pokemon cards. Daniel Victor, a writer for the New York Times, observed this resurgence, saying, quote, "The pandemic sent demand for some cards into overdrive," and supports this idea by saying, quote, "Part of the increased demand traces back to social media influencers who have found many viewers by streaming themselves opening packs on video." In today's world, we now have many social media influencers opening packs, which inspires even more buyers to get out there and find their own fun by opening Pokemon cards. It's a positive feedback loop. Collectors see Pokemon content, then they go and buy these Pokemon cards. Then they open these packs and they're disappointed when it's not as seen on social media. These collectors then see more content and think this time for sure before continuing the cycle. Believe me, I would know because that's how I began collecting Pokemon cards after the pandemic. I love to collect trading cards, and it only took me a few months before I noticed my collecting hobby was branching out.
Okay, so I don't know much about Pokemon. I know a little bit of Pokemon, not a lot. But I grew up watching you and Owen watch Pokemon a lot. Mm-hmm. And so, it's kind of like secondhand experience to it.
I see.
So, I like coming in and joining along with the fun sometimes, every so often. It's one of those things where when you buy a Pokemon card, I'll probably buy one too. Mm-hmm. Just to join in on the fun. And, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't really collect or play the game, but I've seen you, open packs and stuff. Is there a reason for that, or is it just to kind of feel included?
Just to feel included. I like opening them, seeing exactly what I can get, if I can get something good.
So more for the experience of opening,
yeah.
And just being included,
yeah.
More than the game itself or the collecting itself.
Exactly, yeah.
That's my younger sister Leah, and she loves to follow me around when I go, as she likes to call it, quote, nerd shopping.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's certain packs, like Pokemon packs, and they're, the ones that we look at and we've bought, they've only been $6 or $7, but there are packs from last year that have gone up to $10, or there's some from years ago that now go for $50, $100, $200. What do you think about that?
I think it truly depends on what's inside. Maybe it probably did come up because they don't make the packs anymore. Mm-hmm. And so that makes sense because maybe they have rarer cards that you couldn't get in today's packs in there, so it makes sense of a price range going higher. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, is it really worth it to buy something like that?
Leah really hits the nail on the head here. So many of these collectors spend money on what boils down to a gamble. But the gamble isn't the problem. A lot of these collectors already know what they're going into whenever they buy the packs. It's the massive buying throughout the whole world that makes everyone go to the store and buy the cards. Everybody's fascinated with the chance of pulling these great cards that others have begun to try to profit off of the fascination of the hobby. That is assuming, of course, that the stocks for these cards are even present. For 2 years on the Pokemon Center official website, it has read, quote, "We are aware that some fans are experiencing difficulties purchasing certain Pokemon trading card game TCG products due to very high demand impacting availability." And even goes on to promise, quote, "We are maximizing production to increase product availability upon release, and we will continue to reprint impacted products to replenish stock at participating retailers, including Pokemon Center as soon as possible." So, Owen, we bought Pokemon cards today. Mm-hmm. You got an individual one, and I also did, but I got a Pokemon pack as well, and it was about $6. Do you think, looking at what I got, out of the 10 cards that I got, do you think that was fair? For $6?
Maybe.
What do you mean?
Like, honestly, yes and no.
Okay.
Because these ones are pretty good. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
But then, like, it's bad because they're not really anything good.
Yeah.
But they're stronger than other Pokemon cards like them.
So you think that it was worth it to buy the pack because of the gameplay, right? Because the attacks on them are better, but they're not. But I didn't pull any, like, super rare cards, so it's kind of not worth it for that. But it's worth it for the gameplay. That's what you're saying? I see. That's a good point. So if you were to buy Pokemon packs, would you buy them looking for good cards to play, or would you look for rare ones whenever you did it?
Both, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Because
I'm not really looking for anything. I just get them for collecting.
My brother Owen brings up a good point here too. It's not just the packs that people are buying. It's the single cards too, which adds so much more into the equation of supply and demand. And my family isn't the only ones in it just for the collecting. I wish I could say demand is the only problem, but it's even worse than that, as now with increased demand and low supply, there is an emergence of scalpers. Scalpers are consumers who go to stores as they stock up and proceed to buy all of the product to prevent any other buyers from buying them first. Matthew Morante agrees in his article, writing, quote, "Before 2020, finding sealed products on retail store shelves and at hobby shops was not difficult. Now there's an influx of bots that will buy up all the sealed products before any human can. After these scalpers take over the new products, the second step begins, inflated prices. Because these buyers now own the stock, they can upcharge this price to whatever they want online to not only make a profit, but also extort these consumers who just want to participate in their hobby." And I've told you a little bit about the way that the market is now, with the scalping and the overbuying and things like that. And what do you think about that kind of thing?
Like, people buying a ton of cards?
Yeah, well, that's like the people that go around to stores and they buy all of the stock. And then they upcharge it. So, like, I bought all of these boxes of Pokemon cards, and they were worth $50. I'm going to sell them for $80 now, so that I can make a profit from buying all the other ones.
I think I don't really know.
You don't know?
Like, I think that it's definitely an interesting thing to do. Like, definitely smart. But if I were someone buying Pokemon cards, I probably wouldn't buy a pack of Pokemon cards for like $20. I think that it's not a reasonable price.
Well, it also makes it to where people don't have the chance to get those cards for like the reasonable price that you would originally buy them for.
Right.
So knowing kind of that side of things, do you think it's smart to continue buying Pokemon cards, to continue like the hobby of it?
I don't. Not really.
No?
Because you don't really do anything with them. You just kind of sell them and then you buy them again, and it's an endless loop of you spend your money and then you get more money, and then you spend it again and you get more money. You're not really making very much. Unless you truly get a really spectacular card, which isn't very likely.
Mm-hmm. There it is, the problem summed up. Not only are collectors unable to find these cards, but when they do, they're at an absurd price no one wants to buy them for. Adam Joseph seconds this, noting, quote, Pokemon Together Elite Trainer boxes, ETBs, are already being resold on eBay for over $150. For reference, this new set came out only 2 months ago, and the special boxes were supposed to go for $80, not double the price. Josephs even writes, casual collectors and kids looking to buy a $5 pack are now out of luck. What do you think that the future of Pokemon looks?
I think the future of Pokemon, seeing as they ended the original series of like Ash and everything, I don't know.
Like, price-wise, or just like, mostly, I mean, like, demand for the trading cards. Like, do you think that they'll still be popular 10 years, 20 years down the road? Do you think that people will continue buying and selling like they are now? Or do you think it'll fluctuate?
I think they could either get a lot more popular or a lot less popular. Because seeing as, you know, they're making like the Pokemon TCG game, that could make demand go lower, because now you have a online game that you can collect cards for free, or it could get a lot higher because, you know, like I said, if they ended the franchise or whatever, then the demand could get a lot lower because people could just stop caring.
As of now, Leah's right again. Pokemon is getting bigger and bigger, and with that, so is the demand and the prices for cards. The popularity rise is extremely evident, with Jordan Cole's shocking statistic that, quote, in the fiscal year 2023-2024, 11.9 billion Pokemon cards were sold, bringing the lifetime total to over 64.8 billion. This fiscal year was the most successful in the last 8 years for the Pokemon trading card game. This rise is undoubtable, but what is the solution? Is there even a solution? Do you think that there is a solution to the current state of like the Pokemon trading card like community, where there's a lot of upselling and like scalping, where you're taking all the stuff and rising up the prices, like things like that? Like, do you think that there is a viable solution?
I mean, stores could just say you could only buy so much, or, you know, limit the amount that each customer could get. But that's the only solution that I see.
Yeah.
Unless demand for Pokemon cards just went down, but I don't think that's happening either.
Josh Colson found efforts in a few markets, one being Japan, where he writes, quote, Pokemon centers in Japan have been removing the plastic from TCG products at the point of sale to stop scalpers. When the plastic is removed, no matter the condition, the box is now considered to be tampered with. All of a sudden, buyers no longer want to buy something that isn't confirmed to be untouched, which is certainly a viable option for scalpers and resellers. Ben Sledge reinforces this idea further, boldly stating, the sheer quantity of Chilling Reign or Fusion Strike sets, other Pokemon sets, that will be available in mint condition in 2041 will make them worthless. If slightly degrading the quality of the product is what it takes to stop the mass buying and lack of stock, I, for one, would be so for it. As long as the cards themselves aren't affected by this transition, I think it's much better to attempt to prevent the problem than ignore it. Dana Montemore also points out, retail stores like Target are implementing purchase limits by restricting consumers to no more than 2 packs per customer. This policy helps lighten the impact of the demand. Even though it still allows for product to run out, it slows the process down and gives potential for more collectors to buy their favorite sets. I think this might even be the best solution because it doesn't ruin the cards or the quality of the store, but it does help the problem with scalping where more and more people are buying it. The only problem is it's another one of those gilded solutions because I could easily bring 5-10 friends into a Target and we all get 2 boxes, and then we can go and buy out all the profit then. It's not a perfect solution, and it's really hard to find one that will fit any problem, but there are steps being made in the right direction. It's important for all collectors to keep moments like these in mind and remember that Pokemon is a game for both kids and adults, and as such should be accessible for everyone. These policies are helpful but do not solve the problem, and it is up to the consumer to make the difference in the market, keeping in mind that the Pokemon paradox is real and can only be solved by people like you. Thank you for listening. This has been the Pokemon Paradox.